video. Ready? Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me press the buttons here and here. Good morning, Rabotai. Shavua Tov to everybody. The 6th day of Tammuz, corresponding to the 9th day of July. The Lighthouse Torah Project, dedicated Le'ilui Nishmat Devorah Feige Bat Shemuel, as well as Ora Devorah Bat Shemuel. Additionally, for the Refuah Shelema of Menachem Mendel Ben Sarabatia, the iTorah.com dedication for the Shidduchim of Nehamadina Bat Hanabatia, Eliyahu Chaim Ben Esther, Sarah Simcha Bat Sofi, Rachel Penina Bat Jenny, and the Edmond J. Safra special breakfast and class today, dedicated Le'ilui Nishmat, one of our original board members, Mr. Joe Gindi, Alav Shalom, Yosef Ben Moshe, Yosef Ben Nizha, Alav Shalom HaKohen, graciously sponsored by his sons, Roger, Michael, and Richard Gindi. I remember Mr. Gindi from my early days here at the synagogue, a wonderful person who loved the kahal, who loved to give charity, who loved to go around to collect charity to give to people. So therefore, Be'ezat Hashem, let it be that the zechut of the blessings and the Devar Torah that we'll say today will be for the elevation of his neshama. Amen. Yesterday, we started to discuss the very fascinating but yet difficult topic to understand, one of the main mitzvot found in this week's Torah portion, the mitzvah of Para Aduma. And we left the class describing how the Hachamim try to find different messages that the mitzvah of the Para Aduma brings upon us. So B'ezrat Hashem will begin the class with that particular topic, the concept of different hidden messages from the mitzvah of the Para Aduma. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Shehakol Nihiya V'Tbaro. For the audience that is watching or listening today for the class, the Para Aduma refers to a mitzvah that really the Torah does not give us a reason, a mitzvah that was only fulfilled 9 times in the history of the world, since the creation of the world, Moshe, Yehoshua, first temple, second temple, only 9 times. The 10th and final time will be done by Be'ezrat Hashem soon in our days with Mashiach's arrival. Amen. We all know that the halachic purpose of the Para Aduma was to purify someone that was affected by Tum'at Met, by the impurity that affects the human body. When a person goes to a cemetery, touches a dead body, carry human remains, etc. Many are the halachot of the Para Aduma or red heifer, the way we started to discuss yesterday, but definitely the halakha that we don't understand is how could it be, and that's what the Sefer HaChinuch, I saw it earlier today, the Sefer HaChinuch says, as much as I try to find and to reveal examples or reasons behind this mitzvot, in this mitzvah I must stay quiet, he says. I cannot understand the reason why the mitzvah on one hand purifies that is impure and makes impure the one that was pure. We all know these are the basic concepts of the Para Aduma. But interesting enough, before I start reading from the Birkat Hashem, Irat Hashem, which I talked about him in a minute, I'd like to go back to Rabbi Chaim Palachi. Rabbi Chaim Palachi, the Moed Kol Hai, writes that, interesting enough, if the last time the Para Aduma was ever made was in the time of the second Bet HaMikdash, how could it be that the Pasuk says, Ve'ayeta lahem lechukat olam? It will be an eternal covenant. It will be an eternal commandment. How could it be eternal? So he explains, and it says that the moment that Am Israel gathered themselves in the synagogues to read Perashat Para before Pesach, or reading Perashat Hukat, like this week's Torah portion in outside of Israel, in Eretz Israel, the other Perashat Hahed. And we learn and we discuss this fascinating mitzvah, we are fulfilling this particular pasuk that says that this mitzvah, although cannot be fulfilled in a physical way, but talking about it is like we are actually doing the mitzvah of the para aduma. I like to quote from a sefer called Irat Hashem. Very interesting sefer. I never met the rabbi who wrote it. I met him after he passed away, because he's buried next to my father, alav shalom, in Har HaZetim, same row. You enter Har HaZetim in one of the areas. My father is in one section. Keep walking straight. You're going to see this rabbi. This is the rabbi's picture. And this is the book that he wrote. Irat Hashem. Very interesting book. And he's buried. If you go see the rabbi, you're going to see my father. Same row. Couple of feet away from each other. I never knew this until one time I went to the Bet HaChaim and I started to walk there. Not to work, but to walk around the graves. And I saw the Biuda Petaya, the famous alav shalom from the Ben Ish Hai, and many other great tzaddikim. And then I see this name. I said to myself, Rabbi Moshe Ambar, I said to myself, I know this name. I know this name. I took a picture of the kever, and when I came back, I shared it with our good friend Avraham Levy, which is the one who happened to know the rabbi, and he was very involved in spreading the books of the great rabbi. So even though we never met, I feel comfortable enough to say that I know of the rabbi a bit due to his writings, and he always finds a fascinating hidden secret in many interesting pesukim of the parasha. So that's exactly what we are going to do today. We are going to dissect, literally, the first pasuk or the second pasuk of the parasha. I'll read it one time, Hebrew and English, so this way we are able to understand what is he going to say. Because almost every word of the pasuk that I'm going to read, it carries a message. Fascinating. I mean, sometimes a person reads and reads and reads and reads and reads, and you don't find no difference. Suddenly one day, you come across and you understand a much deeper meaning. So the pasuk says, Zod hukat HaTorah, asher tzivah Hashem lemor, daber el bnei Israel, right now, beikhu elecha, take for yourself, para aduma, a red cow, heifer, temima, perfect, complete red, no the colors, asher en bah mum, that has no physical blemishes, asher lo ala alea all, that there was not a yoke placed on top of this animal. In Spanish, for our visiting Spanish membership, yoke means el yugo. Whatever they put on top of the animals to pasture the land and to plow the field, it's called yoke in English and yugo in Spanish. So it says as follows, Beikhu elecha para aduma. And it says, Beikhu lashon limud. A person, kehu imachem devarim, the Navi says. A person must learn throughout life. Not only learn Torah. Obviously, learn Torah is essential for a Yehudi. But a person learns through life. That's why when you look in the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot and gives you the different age bracket, 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, middle of the road, it gives you ben hamishim la'etzah. At the age of 50, you are considered to have experience in life. So therefore, you are able to share or you are able to give an advice to someone. So it says, first of all, that who this mitzvah was given to. The pasuk says, וידבר אשר משה ואל אהרון לאמור, ונתתם אותה אל אלעזר הכהן. It says Elazar HaKohen will be involved in the mitzvah of the para aduma. And it says, do you know why the mitzvah of para aduma was given? And because the mitzvah of the para aduma is a mitzvah that is connected and related to the topic of the Kohanim. And yes, the Kohanim carry a certain responsibility in the holiness, in the sanctity of the Bet HaMikdash, etc. But there is one particular DNA that we need to learn from Aharon HaKohen. And he explains, HaMizvot sheben Adam lahavero. It says, never neglect the mitzvot between people. Like we learned yesterday, if you have a chance to buy from a Yehudi or from a Gentile, if the difference is not great and the quality is very similar, give a priority to your brother. It's actually a mitzvah from the Torah. Be'hei achicha imach, help the fellow man. Number one. The other one we discussed today concerning disliking someone and being a hazan. The halakha says, how can you be a hazan for the sibur? The pasuk, the Torah, the halakha rather, calls the hazan shaliach sibur. What's the meaning of shaliach sibur? The representative of the kahal. So you cannot say, oh, I want my prayer to benefit you, but I don't want that. Haz v'shalom. And therefore it says, the concept of ben adam lahabero, also, like we have ben adam lamakom. That's, he explains the meaning of ikhu elecha. Two messages. Ben adam lamakom, ben adam lahabero. My godly relationship and my interpersonal relationship. The challenge that we have sometimes, that regretfully, many people pay a lot of attention in their godly relationship, but we don't pay so much attention to our interpersonal relationship. And according to what we are learning now, the reason why the mitzvah of para aduma was given to the Kohanim is to follow in the footsteps of Aharon HaKohen, that says the Mishnah, Ohev Shalom, Berodev Shalom, loving peace, and pursuing peace. Para aduma. Why the cow needs to be red? For those wearing a red shirt today, don't take it personal, okay? I know you're celebrating U.S. World Cup Championship, I believe, probably, okay? I'm not sure. Maybe Brazilian Championship. You know, the soccer world is very active these days. USA is white? Okay, depends. I think they're white and red and blue, but it doesn't matter. Bottom line, don't take it personal. And it says, Ha'adom romez la'avonot. It says the redness represents judgment. That's why nida color is red. Blood is red. In many religious circles, ladies especially, don't wear red garments for this reason, for seni'ut. The red is not the same value of a car, red car and beige car. You understand? If you buy a car, certain brands, if it's red, you pay a premium because it's a very attractive to the eye. Here it says completely the opposite. It says, Romez la'abonot, shemiyeh b'mizvah eze mahashva tova, zara mechiya, as te'una serefa, as remez levatel mahshevot zarot. It says as follows. What happens when you burn, you slaughter the animal, and then you burn the para aduma? What color become the ashes after they're burned? White. Gray to white. From red, they turn, that's what it says here. Seva ha'adom le'efer shehu laban. It says the power of teshuvah means the conversion from red into white. White means what? Kedusha, tahara, cleanliness. That's why there is a halachic concept in a wife, after she finished the monthly cycle, you call these days Shiva Neki'im, the 7 clean days. And what color garment on the garment the wife must wear during the 7 clean days? Lebanim, white garments. The Kohen Gadol, sometimes he wore 4 white garments, sometimes he wore 8 color garments. The regular Kohanim in the Bet HaMikdash, 4 white color items. We all understand that the white color represents purity, sanctity, holiness, etc. And it says, the concept of doing mitzvot, asher en bah mum, a mitzvah that has no blemish. What does it mean, a mitzvah that has no blemish? He brings a few examples. For example, mitzvah hava'ah ba'abera. A person does a mitzvah, but how did you arrive to the mitzvah? By doing an avon. For example, I'll bring a simple example. Let's say a person works, God forbid, on Shabbat. I don't believe anybody here works on Shabbat and makes money, okay? And from that money, he wants to donate a Sefer Torah. Do you call that a mitzvah or not? No, that's called mitzvah, hava'ah, va'avera. Another example, forget about Shabbat desecration, okay? Hurting someone in business. That's also wrong. And then from the business deal that you hurt someone, you give charity. Or you want to donate something to the Kodesh. That's also a problem. A third case he talks about, the concept of mahashava. What is the intention or what is the kavanah of the person when it comes to the fulfillment of the mitzvot? And that's what it says, asher embah mum. But one more. The pasuk also says, asher lo ala aleha all. That there was no yoke placed on the animal. You know what it says here? שצריך לקיים, rather, את המצווה בשמחה ובטוב לבב, ולא ירגיש בה כמו עול ומשא. It says a person must make the effort to invest in happiness when it comes to the performance of the mitzvah, so the mitzvah does not become a burden to the person. What does it mean the mitzvah becomes a burden? You don't do it with joy. You just do it robotically. Mitzvat anashim melumadah. You want to get rid of the mitzvah, so you do it quickly. So therefore, it says here that when a person comes to do a mitzvah, any mitzvah that can be done, obviously, sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes the mind of the person is not there. Sometimes the person will be going through hardship, etc. But bottom line, it says, one of the requirements that the mitzvot need to have, like Sefer Haredim writes, that a mitzvah, for it to be considered, I'm not sure if I can say the word perfect, but an ideal mitzvah that meets 17 requirements. 17, 17 takanot. 17 requirements, Sefer Haredim says. Number 1 on the list, kavanah. What are you doing? Connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know what is the second or third? Simcha. That you need to do the mitzvah with joy. So when you do something overall, not only a mitzvah, but whenever you do something with simcha, you do it better. That you are procrastinating and you're doing it because you don't want to do it, but you have to do it. It's like a child that may have a challenge to wake up in the morning early to go to school. Tell them we're going to Orlando, he's going to come for Selichot that day. Right? And I'm not talking about the Sadiq sitting to my right. He's always early every day, Baruch Hashem, Ben Porat Yosef. You understand? So it says that how a person does something can demonstrate is the person is doing it to get rid of, or if a person is doing it in a proper way, L'Shem Shamayim. And here comes marriage. the topic of marriage. Don't ask me how do we arrive from the mitzvah that we only talking about it to the topic of marriage. But he brings marriage in the middle of the sentence. And it says, and the ladies will love this, גם צריך להשגיח על אשתו כגופו. It says, like you devote your time and your mind to do the mitzvot to HaKadosh Baruch Hu properly, you must also pay attention to your wife. No, relax. No. It says to do simcha. There is a mitzvah in the parasha later on in Sefer Devarim. I'm not sure if it can be considered a mitzvah, but it's definitely part of the mitzvah that it says, Besimach et ishto. There is a pasuk in the Torah that says that the husband's mission is to make his wife happy. Okay, relax. Your wife is not listening today. She's traveling, so you didn't say that. If she calls me, I'm not going to say that you said that. Okay? He's a wise guy. He's saying that the Torah may be talking to the concept of the first year of marriage only. Mehila. That is for the qualification to go to the Jewish army. But the way it's written here, it doesn't make a difference. It says, שגם כן מקיים המצווה בשלמות. It says, because when you are happy, the mitzvah is fulfilled better. And this is, and listen to the Hidush, it's going to get better. ונתתם אותה אל אלעזר. It says, give the para aduma to Elazar HaKohen. Who is Elazar? Elazar, רמז לאישה שכתוב בה אעשה לו עזר כנגדו. לשון Elazar means the one that God sent you to be your partner. Who is this? The wife. Beautiful, no? I find it fascinating. So let's recap. It says, the intention, the cow, it's red, it becomes white, that becomes teshuvah. Even if the person sinned. אם יהיו חטאתכם כשני, כשלג ילבינו. The pasuk says, even if the averot that a person commits, they are red, has a piece of wool that has been dyed in red, you can dye it back into white. That refers the redness of the paraduma. Post-burning, the ashes become white, gray. That means teshuvah. Beautiful. The Kohanim are involved in the para aduma. Why? To teach us the importance of Ben Adam lahavero. Then we say, Asher lo ala aleha all, that there was no yoke on top of the animal. Meaning to say, do the mitzvot with joy, with happiness. Don't complain about the mitzvot. Don't complain, because God forbid, if a person complains about the mitzvot, and then he's complaining in front of his wife, or worse, in front of his children, what do you think that the children will feel about the mitzvah? Hazaku Baruch. A tremendous amount of negativity towards the mitzvah. That's why our rabbis tell us, and I said this many months ago, concerning the topic of tuition, which we all know very well, that tuition is very high in our days. Tuition is very high. I don't know how is Sechar Limud. Okay? Sechar Limud, what you pay every month to the Talmud Torah, to the yeshiva. I don't know how much is in Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, Israel. But in the United States, it's a budget by itself. Canada, I believe, is the same. High numbers. And, today the topic is not tuition. But I heard once that a father who wants to have that the Torah education that the children receive should be meaningful and be'emet, penetrating into the neshama of your children, don't complain about the tuition payment. Pay the tuition with simcha. Pay the tuition happily. And that has a direct effect on the chinuch that the child will receive. But if, God forbid, the person complains, the person kvetches, and the person cries, what do you expect? What kind of vibe it will give to the son or daughter? Further, it says, El-Azar Kohen, El-Azar Ezer. Who is considered Ezer? The wife. That's what the parasha writes in the beginning of the Torah. E'aseh lo Ezer kenegdo. I'll make the husband a helper against him. And Rashi explains, what does that mean? Ezer or kenegdo? Is your wife your partner or your wife is your enemy? Don't answer me the question, but it all depends. Rashi says, Zacha, Ezer, lo Zacha, kenegdo. In other words, it's up to us to preserve the marriage and to make sure that we have a good relationship with the wife. And that's what it says. Leashgiach al ishto kegufo. It says, your wife is yourself. The Gemara writes, Umchabeda yoter migufo. Ohava kegufo. You love your wife like you love yourself. Umchabeda yoter migufo. And whatever you do for yourself, do more for your wife. That is the Gemara. I'm not me saying, the Gemara says it. Continues and it says, a Kohen, 100%, not a doubt that Beracha comes in the Zechut of the Shalom Bayit, in the Zechut of the wife, but definitely in the Zechut of Shalom Bayit, as we discussed last Shabbat. A Kohen, it says, now talks about the wife. What the wife needs to do for the husband. Okay? And we're not talking about physical things or home-related things. Here it says, לעזור לבעלה, לשרת אותו בקודש, שיהיה כהן לאל עליון. It says the wife has the power to help the husband to grow spiritually. And he used a very holy language. Kohen la'el elyon hu. Yani, to become a Kohen Gadol. If the husband becomes a Kohen Hediot in our days, we are also happy. But what is he trying to say? That marriage is not only the physical or the emotional or the materialistic way of life. That marriage also must have tahara, purity, holiness, godliness. And that's why when it comes to the mitzvah of family purity, what do we say? Taharat hamishpaha. We don't say taharat haisha. We don't say the purity of the wife. We say the purity of the family, because it has a tremendous amount of influence in the holiness of the home. And it says, Belakah HaKohen Etz Erez, a tree from the cedar tree. Ke Erez Balebanon Izge. This refers, Elu Habbanim. This refers, now that we talked about the relationship between husband and wife, and the husband loves the wife, and the wife loves the husband, and they become a team in order to benefit spiritually their household. Now you have the benefit of the children. Shiyu mehunachim begiborim batorah. That the proper shalom bayit and sanctity in the home helps the children to be raised in a proper way in the Torah, and each one accordingly. And then it goes different, going back, interesting enough, to the concept of marriage, intimacy, and the topic of kashrut in the home. I'll try, Be'ezat Hashem, to connect these three words with the next three words of the Pesukim. So it says, Velakach HaKohen Etz Erez, we talk about the tree, referring to the children. Ezov. What is Ezov? Ezov is the lowest growing grass on the field. This refers to Anava. that a person needs to, in life, be humble. It's not easy. This was the midah of Moshe Rabbeinu. Be'aish Moshe anav meod, the way we read back in Perashah Be'alotecha. But let's talk about humility in our days, in our level. It says a Yehudi must understand that all berachot, all success, all wealth, everything that a person has, as the pasuk says, one of the 10 zechirot, bezacharta et Hashem Elokecha, a Yehudi must remember, ki hu anoten lecha koach la'asot hayil. All of our achievements come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because the moment that we say, kohi ve'osem yadi, asali et ha'hayil hazeh, me, myself, and I, how smart I am, how intelligent I am, how capable I am, that's the beginning of the downfall of the person, has v'shalom. Continues and it says, Ushni tola'at. Ushni, okay? Shani, okay? Red. But Shani is also Shene, two. Who is referring to? Ish beishto. Again, the relationship between husband and wife. What is the meaning of the word tola'at? A worm. But if you play with the letters, gives you the word to'elet. Marriage is the purpose of the existence of the person. Verstehst? Tola'at means also, it says, the concept of kashrut. Bedikat tola'im. The area, which is a complicated area in kashrut, the concept of checking vegetables. Some vegetables don't have an issue, but many vegetables, especially the green leafy items, and many fruits, interesting enough, they have an issue of tola'im. So it says, remember to remove the tola'at from intimacy. Let me explain. I repeat. Remember, we said shani, right? Shani we mentioned two, husband and wife. Tola'at means worm. So what has to do? No, 1 second. Forget about toilet now. What has to do worms in the intimacy relationship between husband and wife? So it says here, you know what? Very simple. Sheyekadesh mahashavto b'sha'at hazibug. It says that when husband and wife are together, the husband especially must make sure that his mind is not elsewhere, thinking, God forbid, about someone else. There is a pegam. The halakha says, Tish'a bene mardu. The Gemara writes, there are 9 cases that affect the children. One of them, shikor, drunk. Another one, ka'as. Mahashavto legaresha vehi ena yodaat. His intention is to subpoena her with divorce papers tomorrow, and she doesn't know. She's sleeping, she doesn't want, or he's thinking of someone else. Has v'shalom. That's called mahashava zara. And that's why he's saying, Sheni, when you are together with your wife, remove the tola'at. The tola'at, he calls it, mahashavot zarot, ella sheyekadesh mahashavto. Actually, I'm going to tell you a tip. When husband and wife are about to fulfill the mitzvah, and there are many things that people do before and after. After everybody washes up, makes netilah, later on, etc. But before the mitzvah, there is a special prayer to say. And when a person does the mitzvah, should have the kavanah and fulfilling the mitzvah ta'aseh mideoraita of ona. Rabotai, this is Torah. Say, Rabbi, who is thinking? You need to think. Right. That's how the Tzaddikim became Tzaddikim. Not because only of their own doing, by the Kedusha of the parents during the Mitzvah. Like they talk about Kimhit, that had 7 sons Kohanim Gedolim. How did she marry 7 sons? And what the Gemara says, Le'olam, lo ra'u korat hagag et se'ara. Never the hair of this wonderful lady saw the ceiling of the home. What does it mean? Even when she bathed, she had someone over with a cover, so the hair will be completely covered. Although halachically she wasn't obligated to do so. If the wife is taking a bath and nobody's in the room, obviously, so why you need to cover the hair? But she went the extra mile. Like the mother of Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol. I'm not telling you the whole story today. How did she conceive Rabbi Ishmael Kohen Gadol? After her husband and her went to the mikveh on the same day. And when she came out of the mikveh, if she saw something forbidden, an animal, not kosher animal, a cat, a dog, an iguana, whatever she saw, she went back to the mikveh. Not to do the mikveh, not to be with her husband, after leaving the mikveh, Haim Tovim, and seeing something not kosher. Again, halachically, she was not obligated. But these small differences, it makes a difference in the zera that the husband produces. Because the zera, you need to know this, the Zohar Kadosh explains, comes from the mahashava of the person. So if the mahashava is tehora, pure, and the person clears the mind before being intimate with his wife, and has this thought that I'm telling you, you don't have to say, you can do it if you can. Right. I wish that we do it. But even if you think for a second, I'm fulfilling the mitzvah of Onah, guess what? That's better than not saying anything. And not just doing like a human being and that's it. Correct. The Zohar HaKadosh calls the wife the mekabelet and the husband is called the mashpia. The mashpia means the giver and the wife is the recipient. So what's the connection? Both of them cannot have the mahashava. Both of them. But specifically it affects the husband because the zera comes from him. Of course. It takes two to tango. You understand?
If she had a bad mahshava as a recipient, is it going to affect?
He's asking if the wife has the wrong mahashava during the moment of the zera. I will say yes. And it goes even further. And it says the concept of Veishlich el toch serefat hapara, the concept of burning the red cow, sheichvosh beisrof ta'avato. It says that a person needs to learn how to control their desires. Now, the desires that we are talking about in this sentence is not only limited to physical desire, but even food, even money, desperation. Sometimes the people become mitlahev for food, for example. They become desperate. Here it says the importance of a person, and I said this a while back, when it comes to food, of telling the food, I'm in charge. You are not in charge. Doesn't mean that the food talks to you, but the food talks to you. The food tells you, take me, eat me, take me, eat me. And then a person eats like a vacuum cleaner. Like Isav. Yes, shalom from Tel Aviv. Beautiful. Okay? Beautiful. You understand? And that's what the Lekachtov brings a concept known as Ta'anit Hara'avad. The Ta'anit of the Ra'avad. What is this Ta'anit? 1 minute long. A fast of 1 minute. How do you do? Let's see the menu of today. Looks very good, by the way. But for me, that is mukse. That is mukse. That is super mukse. Right. Lirotam bilbad. I fulfill the mitzvah like Hanukkah. I'm only watching, I'm not touching. But you have muffins. How many different flavors muffin you have on the tray? 5, 6. You want to be mahmir. You don't want to offend the chocolate and chocolate chip and the blueberry and the blackberry. No, blackberry is a cell phone, right? Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, I love it. No, exists. Yes. Anyways, so you want to be mahmir. So instead of taking 1, you eat 5. But then you're going to try the burekas to the left. You want something salty to compensate the sugar of the muffin, right? So you're not going to eat just 1 bureka of spinach. You're going to try the potato, the mushroom. Suddenly, you are eating shi'ur kovea se'udah to say birkat hamazon. So the Ra'abat says that if a person has such a desire to eat, and you put the food down for 1 minute, you say, okay, we're going to wait. And believe me, when you need to wait 1 minute to eat something, that minute is like in half an hour. It says it's considered like if you fasted that day. Ta'anit. Why? Because you broke your ta'ava. Maybe we didn't achieve much, but that minute of delay, that minute of self-control is what melts the desire of the person. And again, as the Rambam says, Hakol bederech memusa. I'm not telling you, don't eat the muffin, don't eat the bureka, don't eat this, don't eat that. But a person needs to find the middle of the road. Limitation in all aspects of life, with one exception, anava. I think Maimonides writes that a person needs to get as close as possible to become humble in the life. And I repeat, it's not easy to become anav. You don't say, okay, Rabbi, from now on, I'm becoming anav. It doesn't happen automatically. It happens gradually. It happens with discipline. It happens with a lot of self-control. Part of humility is not reacting, which is not easy. Of course, very challenging for many people. Many people are dynamite. You say something to them, and they blow up. Has v'shalom. I hope you're not married to someone like that, and I hope we're not like that. But this is part of anava. When a person says, you know what, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to say anything. That is the beginning of becoming humble. 1 step at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute per hour, as the Hafetz Chaim says in the topic of Shemirat HaLashon, and eventually the person will become like the second nature of the great behavior based on the topic of Anava and Kedusha. This is how the Irat Hashem describes today the fascinating explanation of the mitzvah of Para Aduma. I personally found it very uplifting and very deep, and Be'ezat Hashem, I hope that everybody feels the same way. Okay, let's read quickly. We have 3 minutes. Yes. No, not 10, 3. Okay. Sefer Hasidim, chapter 102 through 104. Although I said chapters, but that's what it is. It says, number 1, when you are eating, be thoughtful of the feelings of others. What does it mean? אסור להרוג קינה על שולחן שאוכלים עליו. Let's say that there is a fly or there is a mosquito while we are eating, and you are Superman, and what do? שחיטה to this fly. It says, כאילו הרג על המזבח. Is considered a transgression, like if you kill something forbidden in the altar of the Bet HaMikdash. Now you may ask yourself, why? The Pelei Yoes answers the why. And it says, because when you kill on the table, you are causing a repulsive feeling towards the person that is sitting next to you. Goes further, and it says, שנאמר, וידבר אלי זה השולחן אשר לפני Hashem. The pasuk from Yehezkel HaNavi that says that the shulchan, the table of a Jew, is like the mizbeach. So how can you kill something foreign? Oh, it's bothering me. I'll tell you quickly. Rabbeinu Hari writes that you should never kill an animal, a fly, a roach, etc., unless it's bothering you. Send the animal away. Send the fly away. The Gemara tells us, hello from Denver, the Gemara tells us the concept of Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi. The Gemara tells a story that there was a calf that ran towards Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, right? And to hide itself from being slaughtered. What Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi says, Zil, ki lekach nosart. Go, you were created for this. What's the meaning you were created for this? One explanation says that this animal was a human being in the past, became a gilgul as an animal, and the takana was to be slaughtered. So what happens after the Yehuda HaNasi says to this animal, go, you were created to be slaughtered? He was afflicted by pain and suffering for years. Stomach pain. Unbelievable, unbearable life. For years. Until one time, that's what Tomer Deborah writes, the Gemara also mentions it, that one day they were learning in the Bet Midrash, and apparently there was a rat, and a cat or a rat, something, and they wanted to get rid of the animal. What Rabbi Yehuda says, open the door, let the animal go. He displayed rahamim, and he was healed. Continues Sefer Haredim. Asur lichtov beSefer Torah divrei hol. You cannot write in a Sefer Torah, Peloni hayav li kach bekach. You want to preserve a document, so what do? You write in the back of the parchment a loan. Mr. So-and-so owes me X amount. And your intention is to have a document in a safe place. It says this is belittling the Sefer Torah. You don't use the Kedusha of the Sefer to the these kind of things. Le'olam yanus adam minisim. It says don't run to miracles, meaning to say don't do things that may prompt the creation of a miracle. In other words, a Yehudi must use the sechel and must do things al pi teva. You got to do things naturally. Shema en osim lo nes. Maybe you're not deserving of a miracle, but even in osim lo nes, menakim lo mizechuyotav. The Gemara writes in Shabbat that whenever a miracle is done to the person, that miracle, it wasn't a free miracle. A miracle. That miracle came with a price tag. What is the price tag? How many mitzvot were deducted from our savings account in order to activate this particular miracle? So therefore, the person must do things al pi sechel, al pi teva as well. One more. Gedol zechut shel yefe to'ar המתגבר על יצרו. Here refers about someone that is very good looking. Here the Musar did not make a difference. Are we talking about a man or are we talking about a lady? Either way, it says that people that are very good looking, they have a lot of nisyonot themselves. Yesterday's Musar, which I don't think we read, we were holding on Sunday, Musar, it talks about the 10th commandment, Lo tahmod. Lo tahmod in English means what? Do not covet. Do not desire. Eshet re'echa, your friend's wife, or anything that your friend may have. And interesting enough, Sefer Hasidim says, Katuv beli vav. Lo tahmod. Although we read it with a holam o, but there is no vav. Why? Lo tehamed. Don't make yourself desirable. It means lo yafot et atzmo. It says don't make yourself good looking. כדי שישר בעיני אשת רעהו. For somebody else's wife looks at you, and now suddenly she feels a physical attraction. Has v'shalom. The same thing goes with a lady. So why the halacha and why the Torah makes such an emphasis on the topic of seniut? To avoid temptation, to avoid the nisayon. Maybe some people are very strong, but many people may not be very strong. And therefore it says that a person should not talk about ladies with their friend. In other words, you're going to start praising, oh, I saw the other day a girl, or I saw Mr. So-and-so's daughter, she looked this, she looked like that. And this kind of conversation, it says, Shema igrora hareha. It says you may be creating a reaction in the body or in the mind of your friend as you're talking, and now that may cause a reaction from him towards her. And you understand what it could end up. And therefore, here it says how careful a person must be in all the concept of morality, which regretfully, in our generation, morality seems to be on vacation, unfortunately. Everywhere things became permissible, but Baruch Hashem, we have our Torah that keeps us strong and alive. And to finish with a happy message from Sefer Hasidim says, "Im bad mizvah leyadecha," if unexpectedly a mizvah came your way, meaning to say you didn't expect it to suddenly have the mizvah today. Let's say you're walking on the street and you found an object that belongs to someone, and that object belongs to a Yehudi and has an identification. There is a mizvah ta'aseh mide oraita that you must return it. And you fulfill this mizvah. Or suddenly you were heading to the airport to pick up your wife, and suddenly somebody in the shul is asking, is anybody heading to Miami airport? And then suddenly, unexpectedly, you have a companion going to the airport. So it says here that a person, tismah me'od, the person should become very happy of this God-given opportunity, betiten shevach behoda'a le'akadosh baruch hu, and a person not only should be happy, but should express their gratitude and the praise to the Almighty, she'ina otah le'yadecha la'asotah, that Hashem gave you the opportunity to do this mitzvah. Basically, you became God's selected agent to fulfill this mitzvah, and that's why the Gemara says, mitzvah sheva'a le'yadecha al tahmisenna. A mitzvah that comes your way, don't let it become hames, don't let it rise. So Be'ezat Hashem, with the lesson of today's Para Aduma, plus the eternal lessons of Sefer Hasidim, may Hashem help us to have a happy, a holy, and a very, very meaningful life. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akashia Omer, Ratza Kadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et Israel lefichach, הרבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר, אדוני חפש למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה וידיר. קדיש. אמן. אמן. ישע מרבה מברך, לעולם לא מעלמיה יתברך, וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם מן השם ויתהדר ויתהדר ושם בריחו. נדבר מעלמה. אמן. אמן. דיבי התרהדים בדיבי כל אתר ואתר. אמן. Amen. Amen. I'm gonna make ashkava. If you're gonna do Amidah, Kedusha, stand by the corner, please.